I would like to thank the organizer, KK in particular, for inviting me to this farming symposium, which has in a way redefined the crop improvement. We knew crop improvement as genetic improvement, particularly the plant breeder, but this encompasses a whole range of several other disciplines together gives the final product. I'm going to talk about some of the experience that we have had in molecular breeding, particularly with basmati rice, and what are the problems that we have faced and how we need to solve those problems. Now, if you look at the traditional varieties of basmati rice, they are very tall, they are prone to lodging. This is a field of basmati traditional, which is almost flat. You can't see any plant standing there. And this is long duration, it has low yield potential, and on lodging quality also declines. And therefore, the breeding program was started at IRI in late 60s. Dr. Swaminathan's leadership, the idea was to combine the quality of traditional basmati into high yielding background. And we developed a number of varieties like Pusha Basmati 1, Pusha Basmati 1121, Pusha Basmati 1509, improved Pusha Basmati 1. And this journey, if you see, over a period of 8 decades, almost 80 years, how the first basmati variety was released in 1930, that was basmati 370. And if you look at the improvement that has happened in the kernel length on cooking, in the latest release that we have, Pusha Basmati 1509, is almost twice that of basmati 370. So this gives more volume of rice per unit of rice cooked. You can cook a small quantity of rice of many plates. You can eat less quantity of rice and you feel that your belly is filled. Even diabetes can afford to eat rice. So this has happened, of course, through conventional breeding approaches, and it is only because of pyramiding the QTLs which were scattered into different varieties. But we were doing it by phenotypic selection, cooking thousands and thousands of single plants every crop season, not less than 20,000. Single samples will be hulled, milled by hand using ivory paper. And then cooking is done, look at the elongation, aroma, and then introduced from 160 days to 125 days in dwarf varieties. And the yield has been improved from 2 tons to almost 7 tons per hectare. The seizure-like curve in plant breeding is hard to get. Generally we have, the longer the duration, higher the yield. But reduced duration combining higher yield is a real challenge which we have achieved here. And this has impacted the forex earning through export of basmati rice going as high as 33,000 crores per annum. Last year it was 26,870 crores. Now almost 95% of this export earning comes from the varieties developed at IRI. And this is where I would like to make a mention how policy is so important. As per till 2008, the Ministry of Commerce had a definition for basmati rice, which said that to call a variety as basmati, it must have one parent as a traditional basmati, like 370, the Radhuni basmati type 3 and so on. If it does not have a traditional parent, the product thereof cannot be called as basmati. Now this definition of Ministry of Commerce restricted many of our new development, including Pusha Basmati 1121, which is now grown in 1.2 million hectare area, because our plea was that the basmati should be defined by the quality, and the quality that it should have twice, elongation on cooking, it should be fluffy, the volume expense should be 4.5 times at least, it should be aromatic and so on and so forth, it should be amylose, alkali spreading value, AC. As long as those characters are there, it should be called as basmati, and these characters will come only when those genes are there. Whether genes are coming from parents or from grandparents or from great-grandparents should not be the criteria for defining basmati. This was the battle that Dr. Prabhu fought very vehemently as head division of genetics. And in 2008, the basmati was redefined based on these parameters rather than the lineage. And that's how, the second battle was to include the variety 1121, which was released in 2003, into the category of basmati. The new variety, Pusha Basmati 1718, has been released last year for commercial cultivation, and this has all the same properties as 1121, but resistance to bacterial leaf blight, and very good feedback coming from the farmers this crop season. This is another variety, Pusha Basmati 6, which is very popular in Sirsa, Fatehabad, Haryana, 3 districts which can almost constitute 50% of basmati production. And this variety has excellent grain and cooking quality, very good aroma, strong aroma. And in this again we have incorporated XA 1321 and we have the breeding system management implemented in major crops in terms of handling data, entering data, making all the data online. This is loss of information in terms of data is a major challenge. All the breeders who retired before me, say in rice section, today if you look for their field notebook, and that is true with all breeding program, you will find those field books either they are eaten by termite. Even if you are able to trace those field books, you will not be able to make anything out of it, what he or she has written, how many crosses have been and so on. So unless it gets automated and in a digital form, that will help a lot for guiding the future breeding program. We are proposing to have an innovation center at IRI, our Accelerated Breeding Center, where ICR is wanting to invest good money. And hopefully if this comes, we should be able to implement some of these new tools and techniques in our breeding program for enhancing yield. Again, I would like to thank all my colleagues, students, senior research fellows who are involved in this project, funding agencies, to make this happen. Thank you very much.
Fine learning you've been doing. So, if you're addressing the issue of linkage drag, so how would you define good map distance, fine map distance? But based on published, they say anything less than 5 centimorgan is enough. But to have sufficient less linkage gap, what are your experience?
A gene-based marker, so that there is no recombination between gene and marker. Not even that, I would go further. If you take a gene which size is about say 5 kb, there could be 100 of single nucleotide polymorphism in that gene between donor and recurrent. All these 100 will not be associated with the phenotypic difference. So if you identify a SNP, which is the causal SNP that makes the difference for the trait between donor and recurrent parent, that SNP becomes functional nucleotide polymorphism. And if our marker targets the functional nucleotide polymorphism, our efficiency of selection will be 100%. So for doing fine mapping, our approach is generally that you take recurrent parent and you take a near isogenic line of that, cross these two, and then have about 10,000 to 15,000 plants, phenotype them, and then reduce to a 50 to 60 kb. And in that region, then you identify which are the candidate genes. Then pick up those candidate genes and then you go for verification by expression profiling of those candidate genes. And then the final answer is by functional validation using transgenics. But for breeding program, as long as we have a gene-based marker, or if we have a flanking marker, which is in the 1 centimorgan, both sides if we have,
1 centimorgan.
Yeah, that should be sufficient. That will avoid any risk of losing the gene.
Thank you, sir.
So my crop performed extremely well thanks to this technology. My question is, this year I have taken up the cultivation of BLB and bacterial leaf blight and BPH resistant variety bred to this molecular marker resistant technology by this Bayer. Now, so my question is it possible to incorporate one more trait, namely flood tolerant, also in this hybrid? And again, so as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, I haven't heard about this Swarna Sabban. So we have only two varieties, Sabban varieties, Siatosan and Swarna Sabban. But nevertheless, we get only these two varieties. So why not incorporate this trait in, say, short duration variety? So we can take it up during this northeast monsoon, so that I can have a good yield of. I need
So you have submergence tolerance, you can have drought tolerance, you can have bacterial blight, you can have brown plant hopper. All these can be done. That's not difficult. So only thing is one has to take care is that first you have to develop isogenic lines which are having one trait with all characters of say Swarna, and then intercross this so that you don't lose the real value of Swarna. Now Swarna Sub1 is available, BPT 5204 also Sub1 version is available, ADT 43 work is being done. 20 varieties of rice have been targeted for Sub1 and also for several drought tolerance genes, and along with the genes for biotic stresses like bacterial blight, blast, and brown plant hopper. So that was.
I was interested in the data point cost. The data point cost is not sustainable, and as a result, I think a decade now, the cost of data points, especially SNP data points, have come down to less than 10 cents. by using appropriate. I'm not marketing that company, but there is a Douglas company who's because of that, in 2 companies where I worked before, the cost came down from 2003 we were spending $3 per data point. By 2000 and by now it is less than 10 cents a data point. So they are for numbers. Somebody talked about the numbers. 3,000 to 5,000 plants in the nursery before you take a 200 or 100 for taking the phenotypes. So that's because we have agrogenomics. I had said in 2010 in a paper that we need at least 5-6 service centers in molecular biology that can cater to this at a cost that we can reduce our work in the field. Thank you.